Hello. From KEOR in Chautauqua, Colorado, welcome to Mindful Living, the program where we answer your questions to help you live a better, healthier, more mindful life. I'm your host, Arlo Green.
And I'm Paul Jensen.
For my regular viewers, there will be a slight change in format. My producers at American Public Radio felt that my program needed a change because, in their words, it was hemorrhaging money. So now I'm being forced to share my platform with a co-host, a local butcher, and my personal arch nemesis, Paul Jensen.
I was told I could make good money by just reading a few questions every week, and I've always felt like my voice would sound good.
Stop talking! Our topic this week will be about reducing our carbon footprint. Remember, you can always write us using recycled paper, homemade organic ink, and the feather of a crow that died of old age.
Or you could email us at greenwarrior32.
Do not give out my personal email address. Just read the questions.
All right. Our first question comes from Janet in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Janet writes, Dear Arlo, I consider myself environmentally conscious. I have a Tesla electric vehicle and ride my bike whenever I can. However, I frequently fly to Europe for business. What can I do to mitigate my carbon footprint from taking intercontinental flights? Sincerely, Janet. Okay. Arlo, any ideas?
Oh, interesting question, Janet. You want to continue taking intercontinental flights and then make up for it later, as if polluting the earth is like karma. Well, let me think. Why don't you get in your Tesla and head on up to Cape Cod and drive your car into the ocean? That'll mitigate all your carbon emissions. Knock, knock, Janet. Who's there? Landbridge. Landbridge who? The frickin' Landbridge to Asia, you lazy yuppie! If you're not willing to get in your electric vehicle and drive through all of North America and Eurasia, then you should take that Tesla and shove it back up Elon Musk's ass! And who's our next question from, Paul?
Is that how you answer all of your questions?
Most of them, yes.
Have you ever considered anger management therapy?
This is my anger management therapy.
But you just yelled at that woman and told her to drive her car into the ocean. And your dog is shaking in the corner.
And I haven't committed arson in over 2 years.
Okay. Our next question comes from Michael in Billings, Montana. Michael writes, Dear Arlo, my family and I have recently purchased a large 4,000 square foot home. What kinds of renewable energies can we use to help make our home carbon neutral? Sincerely, Michael. Okay, Arlo, any thoughts?
Wow, Michael, that's a very big house. You must have, what, 10, 15 children? Because that's the only excuse I can think of for having a house that big. It seems like your real problem is keeping it in your pants. So rather than going carbon neutral, why don't you hop on down to your local veterinarian like the animal that you are and ask him to chop your balls off? And while you're at it, maybe you could take 2 or 3 of your worthless children down there with you and ask him to put them to sleep. Because the only point in having so many kids is if you're running an organic beet farm in Duluth, Minnesota. Are you running an organic beet farm in Duluth, Minnesota, Michael? Are you? No, you're not. You're just buying a McMansion on the side of a hill and spewing fossil fuels in the air every time you flush one of your 16 toilets!
So, to recap, the advice was to have your local veterinarian castrate you and to kill half your children. To be honest, Arlo, I'm confused why people write you letters at all.
I honestly haven't been able to figure it out either. Kombucha?
What the hell did you just call me?
No, I offered you kombucha. It's a fermented tea that helps regulate digestion.
I do not understand what you just said, and I do not want to. I will instead drink the coffee I purchased at my local 7-Eleven.
If I wasn't in anger management therapy, I'd burn that place to the ground.
What was that?
What does our next letter say, Paul?
Oh, right. Our next letter is from James in Tacoma, Washington. James writes, Dear Arlo, I have a boat that I like to take out on the lake with my family at the weekends. I want to turn my boat into a carbon-neutral machine, but I have not been able to find any electric-powered engines that are as powerful as the diesel engine that came with the boat. Do you know about any high-powered green alternatives to diesel boat engines? Signed, James. Well, James, I would not want to be you right now. Arlo?
Thank you, Paul. So, James, you use a diesel-powered boat to lug around your family every weekend. Is that right? Here's an idea. How about you drive your gas-guzzling boat into the middle of the lake, tie some cinder blocks around your ankles, and see what the lake floor looks like? People like you make me sick. Water is a resource for drinking, bathing, and giving birth, not for rednecking around with your podunk family. Oh, and while you're strapping those cinder blocks around your bunions, why don't you ask Ma and Pa and the rest of the Hatfield McCoys you live with to join you? Are there any more letters, Paul?
Nope.
Wonderful. That means it's time for our surprise caller. This is the part of the program where I pick up the phone and call someone to help them live a better, healthier, more mindful life. This week's surprise caller is Susan, my local State Farm agent. The last time I was in her office, I noticed she had a Keurig coffee maker. So when I give the signal, Paul, press the black button.
All right.
Hello, this is Susan from State Farm. How can I help you today?
Now. Stop using your Keurig coffee maker. You are destroying the ocean with plastic.
Oh my God, I will. I'll stop.
Also, remember to separate your plastics from your glass bottles and buy solar panels for your house.
Okay.
Wow, you were right. Middle-aged white women are terrified of Muslim prayers.
I call that using racism to save the environment. Well, that's our show. From KEOR in Chautauqua, Colorado, this has been Mindful Living. I'm Arlo Green.
And I'm Paul Jensen.
Stop talking. Just turn on the theme music.
Is it this one?
The robot revolution is here, and it's coming for you first, Elon.
No, those are the robot noises I used to scare the hell out of Elon Musk. Hit this one.
You know Elon Musk?
No, but I have a direct line to his desk at Tesla.
Why don't you like him?
I sold my entire gemstone collection to a starseed named Juniper just so I could buy a Tesla Model 3, and I've been on the waiting list for over 2 years.
You and I are very different people.